one. All right, well, welcome to another episode of Subject to Change. I'm Mallory.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm the monkey in the middle. So today's episode is sponsored by my building lady, Monica. She's actually a homeless lady that sits out front of our building all the time. She's been gone for, I'd say, 6 months, maybe 5.
Oh, wow.
She's been gone for a long time.
Wow.
And she's homeless, but she's with it. And she said something, I asked her today, I'm like, well, she went down to, well, I saw her the other day, and I said, where have you been, Monica? And she was like, I was in Birmingham, Alabama. And I said, why'd you come back? It's freezing cold. She said she has some workers' comp stuff that she has to do, so I think that she's just got some physical issues and lost her job and blah, blah, blah. But she does work. She tells me she works, and so I always try to pick her up something to eat or whatever. But she doesn't bag at all, which is really cool. Anyways, it's really great because she calls me Matt. And I just haven't corrected her.
Oh.
But she picked up on your guys' name.
Yeah,
She
she
did.
do.
Yeah.
She repeated my name
She's
twice.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really sweet. I always feel bad. I've seen her sleeping on like some church steps one time, like down on South High Street. So she's a sweet lady. I'm glad
Yeah,
she's
she
back.
seemed really nice.
She did.
Yeah. So she's sponsoring I got her a Pepsi and she's sponsoring the
Monica.
podcast today. So yeah.
All right. Well, as always, please listen. Well, yeah, always listen. Sorry. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube now. Yeah. And please help us out. We're getting more followers on Spotify, which is really nice. So let's continue. And if you have something that you have been subject to change about in your life, please contact us. We can have you as a guest on our show. And if there's any questions you would like to ask us,
Please don't hesitate to reach
we'll
out.
air it live.
Yeah.
Yes. Send us DMs, messages. We love getting to know you.
Slide into the DMs.
And thanks for listening, actually.
As always,
for those
yes.
listeners that are listening, thank
It's
you so
amazing.
much. We
I
love
love it.
you.
Yeah.
We're so small right now that we're actually fans of yours as well. So.
Yeah, we are.
I know YouTube is like getting some views. I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited about it because I don't share it. So I do, but I've only shared it once. So yeah, thank you.
We'll get rolling on the podcast. All right, so that's my new intro to the complaints section of mine, or segment.
I love it.
Yeah, complaint segment. Yeah, so today I want to talk about carry out food.
Oh.
So, at this place that I eat, they have this amazing, it's the club, the athletic club. So, which is right near my building. Why am I allowed to say
Are
that?
we complaining about that?
No, but
Oh.
what happens is they have this amazing salad. It's a winter salad, it has spinach and walnuts and blue cheese, tons of stuff that's super good. And then I get blackened chicken on top of it. So I was in a hurry one day and I'm like, I'll just get it to go. I can bring it back to the office. They put it in this tiny little, like smaller than a Kleenex box thing to put it in. So I didn't know, when I got it was like, oh, that's kind of a small bag, just looked really small. So I get back to the office and I open it up and there's no way you can eat it in a small box. It's so big, it's like they shoved an entire package of spinach that you get at the grocery store, a whole package of it just shoved into there and then with everything on top. I mean, it looked really good when I opened it, but how the hell do you eat that? There's no way you can eat it out of the box. So then I try to put it on a plate and now it's all over the place. Like, I can't, it's like moving all over. There is so much spinach. I'm telling you, it was like way too much spinach in it. The chicken was in a separate thing, which that's okay too. It keeps it, not the juices on there and everything, but I felt like it was way too juicy. I don't know, just putting it back the way you normally eat it when you get carry out is really difficult to do.
I agree. And so many times, like, carry out for me always comes in styrofoam. So, like, I want to be able to just even put that into the microwave, which obviously you cannot do.
Oh yeah?
And then, sometimes you get fries that,
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
They'll be
Yeah.
mushy,
Yeah, yeah.
not good.
Because it gets cold. It gets, for me, carry out, if I'm taking it home, like it's not the same.
Not the same at all. And I did the same thing with the ramen place down the street. And I got it back and it was just like, wait. And they separated the broth from the noodles, but then as soon as I put that in, but it just got cold. And then all the noodles were sticky. It just wasn't.
Wasn't the same.
still
Yeah,
don't really
I
take out
actually,
the-
I don't go here often, but they do have a really good Oriental chicken salad that I get. But I ordered from Applebee's a couple weeks ago, and I usually have gotten it to go because I don't sit in an Applebee's, our local one, because it's just blah. And yeah, so you charge me $2 more, so now we're going inflation.
Oh, for carry out, they charge you more?
No, it's just starting to go up again. But the size got smaller. I opened it up, I'm like, what is this? This is not what no. Like, I was so unhappy
Yeah.
about it. And it didn't even have all of the stuff, it just didn't,
Oh, it wasn't the same.
no, it was smaller sizing.
Did they use styrofoam?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I hate the styrofoam. Let's talk about that for a second. Like
Is
styrofoam is so
okay.
bad for the environment. Why are we still using that?
I don't
Right,
know.
I blanked out for a minute because I was thinking even leftovers. So like, say you're at a restaurant and then they, you
Yeah.
know, they give you a box to go.
Yeah.
And then you want to heat them up. Like, it's really hard for me getting styrofoam, putting on a plate, heating up like fries. Styrofoam to me is just like, it's a no-go. Like, and the food even tastes.
It does.
Different.
Do you know Cane's? They're the worst.
Oh, yeah.
When
they
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Sammy, when she goes to get hers, she lifts the box open. And so if you don't do that, the condensation will get in there and the food's just really gross. Like, it's just not the same. You know, I can't do styrofoam boxes with restaurants. It's just
I'm not a fan.
like Sopapilla. Like
Dude,
La Paloma,
yes,
you get it
yes.
to go and it's in that styrofoam
Styrofoam.
box and you get it home and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
no.
And then if you can't eat it all and then you go to heat it up, like, it's just
It's
not,
the same.
It's not the same.
Well, speaking of leftovers, though, when I get food to go or leftovers, I feel like the leftover food isn't bad. Like, but I guess you're expecting less, right? Because it's a leftover, so you know it's already.
I will say
something to
though,
Yeah.
the Brussels sprouts from Athletic Club,
Oh my
I
God.
had those left over the next
So
day for
Oh,
lunch,
really?
put them in the oven. Oh,
eat. Oh yeah, heat them in the oven, not in the microwave.
Everything from that place is great.
so good.
Let's talk about the bolognese for a minute. Oh my goodness. I never have leftovers because I eat it all. So like I play it like you know, like when I'm with you guys, I'm like, oh, I'm having
Oh.
such small portions. As soon as I get home, I eat all of that, and I'm putting my fat girl pants on every day, all day.
I love
Get
it.
bloated.
Yeah. No regrets.
No regrets.
None.
No regrets.
No, none. Not even a single letter.
Yeah. Yeah, so eat in the restaurant. I mean, I hate eating by myself, and sometimes takeout's okay, but stuff that you normally get, I think that's where the challenge is.
Yeah,
Some-
you're used
something
to
that
it.
I normally get at the restaurant, and it's just not as good when I get it takeout.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. There's some places though that are my go-to. Like I'll take out and I'll bring them home and watch my favorite show, and it's just the best. But you have to have those certain places that it works when you take
Mark Pies is one of those places.
you get it.
They do it in styrofoam or
They do.
styrofoam,
Oh,
not
no.
recyclable,
It's not recyclable.
not at all.
No.
And even though that also the
Dad's got something pulled up here about.
yeah, I'm just trying to find the information, but you know, even those styrofoam peanuts, like
Yeah.
I hate those.
Oh, those
Yeah.
First off-
stickers.
First off, you can't get what you want out of the package without knocking peanuts off all over the place, right?
But
So
you know what
you're making
though?
an instant mess, which also has the static. You can't pick them up because they get the static on them, and it's like every time you go towards them, they're gonna stick to your fingers or.
But you can take your item out of the box, keep them in the box, and then you can like play in it and like make a fort and have fun.
Play in the box.
Yeah.
Wait, like little 2-year-olds are gonna eat that shit and die. What are you talking about?
It's
And
like a
you
weird
play
turd.
them?
I'm
They're a
just
grown woman.
Grown woman playing with packing peanuts.
Surely gonna get the
Privacy
white
of
van call on you.
No, I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, like, if you had children at home that like to build forts and they wanted to just, you could use it as like snow or like,
That's
get
true.
creative, like,
Yeah, as long as they don't eat it.
I mean, now, I will admit,
What is this shit?
No,
Anyway, styrofoam is.
I will admit that I love bubble wrap. So if it comes in a packaging and it's like a big roll, I'll lay it on the floor and then I'll run across the floor and hear it pop. I just get so much satisfaction.
I've never ran across it in those
Yeah,
options.
it's so much fun.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
so
no.
much fun.
I would think
I
lay on
love
it, roll
bubble.
across it'd be kind of fun too.
I'm too ridiculous to do that. I get dizzy
This is a
and
bucket list item.
yeah, it's so fun.
100%.
So I love bubble
I'll
wrap.
save my bubble wrap for you.
It's like an
That's all I
ASMR
ask.
thing.
My Christmas list isn't extensive. It's bubble wrap.
It's ASMR to me.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
It's like a fidget toy, but
It is like a
Cheap.
fidget toy.
It's like
Closed
powdery
cell
fidget
extruded polystyrene foam. Gross.
peasant.
Okay, here's some things we'll talk about the styrofoam packaging for takeout or leftover food. What can you do? Find a foam recycling facility, which by the way, Franklin County supposedly has a really nice recycling facility. You can do
Supposedly.
tours of it. I want to do a tour of it.
You
I
go
wanna-
do
I
that,
wanna see
Dad.
what's
I had
happening.
no idea.
Yeah.
Combine with acetone to make glue.
What is happening?
Sweet.
Let's dive
try
in.
that.
Build styrofoam floating islands for ponds. Repurpose styrofoam for DIY home decor.
Oh my god.
Create foam ornaments for holidays.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
You
I don't
guys.
know about that.
What is going on?
How many chemicals are
Yeah.
in styrofoam?
Used for drainage and potted plants. I can see doing that.
Yeah,
That'd be all right.
that's doable.
Yeah. Well, fun stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like to take out stuff. I know, pretty weak today, but I was pretty busy all week. So yeah.
I didn't think it was weak at all.
No.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, it's different.
Takeout's totally different. Support your
different
restaurant.
thing.
I think for a restaurant's perspective, yeah, they probably don't mind it so much. You know, they're making money, they're charging you the same amount. They don't have to, you know, they just have to pay the staff. So I don't know if it's
And we
making
talked
them
about
more money.
The tipping too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. We talked about that before.
Well,
Because I won't tip if I'm.
your sister
takeout.
Rebecca on my side, that Rebecca, she texted me when she listened to that episode, said she was really upset. She worked at Old Bag of Nails while she was in high school and was a front, what do you call those? The person that sits, the host.
Oh,
Host,
yeah.
host.
And she said the takeout orders would, especially during COVID, were coming in a lot, and the bartender would have to put the order in, go get the food,
It's extra
package
work.
it. It's a lot of extra work. So
Mhm.
she's like, I agree with tipping that. I said, yeah, I would tip those too.
Yeah,
I just don't tip them 20%.
Yeah, it's just like Applebee's is my prime example of when I say that, because it's an online system, so I know it's going straight. Like I know I've seen it because I've sat in there. It goes straight to the kitchen. Like nobody else
Oh, so
takes
they
the
just
order. Yeah, it just goes
say,
straight back.
Carry
there.
out, and then but someone still has to put it in a
Yeah.
bag, make sure the utensils are in there and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So
Yeah, I do Kate and get like a couple,
I give
Yeah.
some because there's.
but I'm
some
not
effort,
giving
but-
full.
I
I'm
always
not-
do, and I got hooked today even. I went to Starbucks and then I was trying to ring up my card. This is not carry out, but it's the same thing because I was going through the drive-through and I was trying to ring up my card and they were like, there's a question on there and it said, tip $2, $3.
That's
Oh.
how they get you. There's a question.
And I was like, she can see me and so can God. So I put $2. Literally, she just did her job and I was like, $2, and it's hard. It's a great complaint segment. I know we're
yeah.
No, we
Going
always
back,
go
but-
on tangents, but it also makes me think of drive-throughs. I took Pumpkin, the dog that was in here, through a drive-through the other day.
Pumpkin.
As soon as he pulled up and you hear the voice coming off, he just started barking like he was freaking out. Like, and I'm like trying to hold him in the back seat, and he's like putting his paw on me. He's like, "Don't you understand? There's somebody talking. I don't see anybody." He
It
was
sounds like
freaking
something
out.
Murray would do.
Yeah.
Oh, dogs.
Yeah.
So my complaint.
A
So
lot.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
Oh my God, I was way out of.
it's okay. We're switching it up today. It's fine
Yeah.
because we can, end on a high note. So with our conversation.
This is what happens when you give Brian the control. This is a problem.
It's
But
fine.
we're still working with our intros, guys.
We're subject to change,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
So, we talked last week about triggers. So that kind of got me thinking about just like trauma as a whole and how it's so complex. And trauma is a cycle. It's like trauma's in the middle and you have all the webs coming out. There's so much like going on with it. So part of that, so like, okay, we talked about the triggers, but now it really got me thinking about how we tend to cope with trauma. And there's a cycle of that as well. We have healthy coping and unhealthy coping. So just to put it out there, what coping really means is it's a strategy that is inclusive of thoughts and behaviors that help us manage stress and emotional challenges. So I feel like that there might be, we don't talk about it much, really. I feel like we don't talk about it publicly. We talk about it more privately, like with therapists or,
Right.
just, but again, there's still that stigma. So people are being judged for their actions or what they do and why they're doing. And stigma gets created because, again, you don't understand why it's there. So for me, I don't know, I just really wanted to kind of talk about it because there's unhealthy ones and there's healthy ones, but I think it's important to note that you can make anything an unhealthy coping mechanism if you're using it in a negative way. So, the most obvious one that I can think of, like smoking. Is it illegal? No, not if you're over 21. But it's used as a coping mechanism to help deal with stress. People think of substance abuse. But I think it's important to talk about it because, like, I don't know, to when it gets to a certain extent of like, when is this becoming dangerous for my mental health? You're filling that void of what's been like the pain and the suffering, and you're not trying to, you're just, because you're in so much pain, it's easier just to take the easy road of whatever you're doing. And that could be even just avoidance and denial of the issue, or overworking yourself, or getting, hyper independence, negative self-talk, emotional eating. I'm fully guilty of emotional eating. That's a big problem for me. Isolation, procrastination, guilty. Excessive screen time, guilty. I'm really calling myself out.
I'm guilty of all these too.
But or just things in general, like we talked about, we had brought this topic up last week, but just sex can be used also as an unhealthy, it's not illegal, there's crimes dealing with sex, but it's not illegal, but people can use that as an unhealthy coping mechanism because it's filling a void.
Oh, so you're saying, you're not necessarily saying these things are bad things to
They're
do,
not all
but when
bad
you're
things.
using them to cope with
Yeah, using them, and I think
that's the unhealthy.
Right, and that's the point to really talk about, because I think there's confusion. And so I'll bring up the sex thing again. Yes, it's healthy, but when you're using it to fill something excessively, it's not healthy.
Yeah, I think people search for synthetic forms of dopamine to try to cope with how they're,
Because they don't know how to cope.
Yeah, it's a natural response.
It is. It's easier to take because it's just
actually
easy.
feel.
Yeah, you don't feel the pain. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to deal with it. So the challenge then becomes, when do you become self-aware enough to start maybe developing healthier habits, healthier coping skills? And coping is just a little portion of it's not going to solve your problems, but it's something, the healthy coping is something you can turn to when you're feeling a certain way. I don't know. I feel personal to this because in the last 7 months, I've had to allow myself the time to deal with feelings of trauma from the last 18 years of my life. So, and realizing all the unhealthy things that I was doing. And I think for me, it was just mainly giving myself that time. I had too many negative distractions around me. So I think if we allow ourselves to be attentive to the negative and cut that out and actually take the time to self-explore. It can also help, but also getting help. I mean, if you've been through trauma, therapy definitely is a key. I'm not, by any means, I'm not judging anyone when I talk about this. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just speaking from, not just personal experience, but working in the field that I have. But there's a lot of denial about how we're handling things too.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so when you start identifying that and you have healthy coping skills that involves, positive self-talk, positive people, community, healthy activities. But like I want to say too, like even exercise, even though it's a healthy thing, can be used negatively.
And it releases dopamine, too.
Excessive exercising, becoming obsessive about it.
Oh.
It's just something you're overly concentrated on.
Yeah.
That can be a form too. So it's not always, and for people who are uneducated about it, it's not always a bad thing. It's something that could be used as a way to fill a void.
So when you say fill a void, and you're saying that's the coping is filling the void, right?
Yeah, or the pain, or numbing, or so you don't have to feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The unhealthy coping is so you don't have to feel,
Okay.
essentially.
And then so walk me through. So there's trauma.
Mm-hmm.
That's affecting how you behave
Mm-hmm.
and how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Then you consciously think about utilizing a coping mechanism. So it's
No.
just something that you're
You're
not.
sub-
No,
Subconsciously
it's
doing
you're
it.
subconsciously
It's
doing it,
repressing.
and that's kind of the dangerous thing,
Yeah.
because you don't just
You don't
choose.
realize you have a problem
Yeah.
until it's too late.
Right.
Not too late, but I mean, the problem has manifested
Mm-hmm.
to which
And
is
then you
actually a
become
problem.
so far in it that it's hard to
Navigate your way out.
get out. I mean, I was like probably a good 10 years before I realized like this is bad. I shouldn't be doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's hormonal too, so your body relies on that synthetic form of dopamine that you have become fixated on. Our bodies, I think, if they're relying on that just to make you happy,
Right.
that's how you're functioning on a daily basis. In reality, it may be a really bad habit. You don't see it that way. This is
You
how I
don't.
survive till tomorrow.
And
you're
it's
just
really,
trying to do
it's
the right
personal
thing.
to you can't really say, well, when do you recognize it as a problem? It's personal to everyone.
It's customized.
Right.
I think for me, with mine, I just got sick of it. I just got to a point in my life where I just got sick of it.
So you were able to recognize the unhealthy coping, but it took you a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're saying. Like we don't, as people or people that
Mhm.
we know or have experienced this, including us, we don't necessarily know we're doing it until you actually
Yeah.
look in the mirror, so to speak.
Yeah, it's,
Very
I don't know, it just, it's all up to ourselves, really. I think every journey is different and personal, but then on the other side, when you think about healthy things, it really, when you let yourself have those healthy things and good things in your life, it takes a total turnaround.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to be okay with seeking help.
Yeah, because you
That's
still
the
have
biggest
to,
step.
right, you still have to, I always hate to use the term, solve the problem, but you still have to
You do.
correct the trauma or your feelings that you can't correct the trauma, but you have to.
Yeah.
But how do you do that?
Coping is another way of hiding your feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, I cry all the time now because it's been bent up for years.
So just feeling that emotion that you've
Mhm.
repressed for so long can
Yeah.
feel like,
It's exhausting.
yeah.
But every time, like I mentioned in a previous episode, like every time you cry, it's shedding a new layer. And you're getting
Right.
rid of that, you're shedding a new layer. And I truly feel that. I feel like I've had a lot of self-growth just in the last few months because I've had, the time to for myself. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up because I feel like,
Well, there's
Super important.
yeah.
There's a little bit of an understanding. So you have to understand trauma too to move
Mhm.
beyond that, right? So you have to understand what it was doing. I want to bring up an example. Keith sent me this week because I think you guys know that I was in a very toxic relationship.
Mhm.
And she saw this on Instagram actually. The visual of it, and I don't have it up on the screen, but the visual of it is this. It's a choreographed thing. This man is shaking this woman violently, and then kissing her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what this is called a trauma bond.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know anything about this, and all I did for 3 years in this relationship was go, why do I keep going back to this? Why am I still in this relationship? We would break up literally every 2 weeks. But I'm just gonna read a little bit of this. Trauma bonds aren't love, they're survival. When you're caught in a trauma bond, your nervous system isn't just reacting to someone, it's stuck in a loop of highs and lows, fueled by unpredictable behaviors and fleeting moments of connection. They activate the same pathways in your brain as addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So each apology, kind word, or grand gesture floods you with dopamine, and then that briefly smooths your pain and keeps you going back for more. For those with anxious or avoidant attachment styles, the cycle is even harder to break as it mimics the familiar chaos of past relationships.
Anxious attachment.
Yeah.
I could talk about that too. That's a different.
It's deep
That's
stuff.
That's a different.
It was pretty
episode.
crazy. I read this and there's a lot more. I don't want to read the whole thing,
The
but
trauma bonding is so real.
I had never heard of it.
Yeah, it
And I was
can
like,
happen
oh
in
my God, it's
friendships, too.
exactly
Yeah.
what it was in.
Yeah.
It was like you need something that's completely wrecking you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which
yeah,
creates
you're in it.
unhealthy relationships.
That's right. That's
Like
right.
you don't even remember what normalcy is.
Mm-mm.
So then when you finally find a normal relationship that is healthy, you're
You
scared to
gotta
accept
navigate
it.
it.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
hard. Oh yeah.
Because you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this isn't
Accept
what I'm
it.
used
Like
to.
tell yourself to
Yeah.
accept it.
Yeah.
Even then.
Like, wait, something's gonna be wrong with this. When's the
Oh,
rug gonna
yeah.
get pulled
And
out?
I can
yeah.
say that with my current relationship, like does everything amazing, and it's hard for me to accept the good.
Yeah. I feel ya. I just
Mhm.
think he does amazing. She
I
does
still revert
everything.
back to old. That's
Yeah.
enough about me, but I'm just saying, yeah.
It's easy to do.
Mhm.
It is. I feel like I'm just at the point now where, because I've dealt with my stuff, I'm like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready to let myself have again what I've had before. Because I was blessed enough to have it
Yeah.
before, and it got, obviously taken away with, and I didn't let myself have it for so long, and it led to, it was that trauma bonding experience in both of my marriages, and Dad jokes about it, but I mean, essentially that's what it was, but now I'm like, all right, like.
Oh, so
my
you
mind's-
recognize that same thing that actually you were arguably using marriage or partnership as a coping skill for
Mhm.
trauma, yeah.
'Cause I didn't know how to be alone.
I bet a lot of people do that.
No, 100%.
Yeah, after he died, I didn't know how to be alone, but I was also, I just felt dead,
Right.
so.
And then thought, oh, this could help, but oh man, that's a major, again, that's
Yeah.
actually another good example. It's not unhealthy to be married, but you did
It's
it in an
unhealthy to
unhealthy way.
use it as a
As a
way for
coping
me to,
mechanism.
yeah.
But you didn't know that you could do that to women. Okay. That makes
Oh,
sense now.
okay, does it make sense? Are
Makes
we-
sense to me
okay.
now.
Good, I'm glad we
Still gonna
made a
make sense.
step, yeah, but I've made such progress, like now I know what's healthy and what,
And I think self-reflection is huge, and identifying the fact that you've grown as a person is also
Yeah.
huge. If you're able to do
I feel
that, then-
grown up, I feel like
Good.
an adult,
Aw.
yeah.
See, I self-reflect, I'm like, man, I'm growing sideways. So, I don't know.
You're
But that's
growing
good.
Growing sideways.
And I think in some
I'm
ways
I'm
I've
Benjamin
grown.
Button. I'm getting younger.
Curious case.
I'm gonna be,
That is a curious case.
yeah. I'm gonna be a child before you know it. That's another- Actually, that's another George Carlin thing I saw where he oh man, I wish I could find it, because it's like, what if you could start your life at death? And then he just has great ways to look at it, like, you're already dead, now you're coming, everyone's there, and they're crying for you, and they want,
At your funeral.
yeah, at your funeral. And then, like, as you go all the way down, you something about marriage, and then you end up being a kid, and everyone does everything for you. And
It's
all
kind
that
of the
stuff.
same,
Yeah.
because when you're getting ready to die, everybody has to do everything for you then too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, human body,
pretty neat.
yeah.
yeah,
If we had
It's
a
a really
website, I'd
cool
post it.
thing to think about.
We're gonna do that next.
yeah.
Do a website.
Oh, yeah, we do need a website, guys. It's alright, I'll get right on it. I'll get, like with our merch is coming soon. Alright,
Oh, that's true, yeah, you're doing some merch stuff. That's
yeah, working on it.
Yeah. I think I should say at this point, we might take a break for a minute, but, yeah, we're 30 minutes in. we were supposed to have a guest on, and it was my friend Peggy Oldakowski from New Jersey. She was going to talk about her journey with pancreatic cancer, which I think is pretty impressive, and she's so knowledgeable about that. But I think she wanted to talk a little bit about, she's a great balancer of naturopathic medicine and traditional medicine, and it'd be great to talk to her. But unfortunately, it was so sad. They had they have a best friend group from high school. They get together all the time, and one of those best friends had a heart attack while playing basketball and died. So
Oh my gosh.
So
I didn't
sad.
know that. That's
Yeah.
really so
Sad.
sad.
so sad. So not here for the podcast, so that's why we're just winging this one today. I was really
Which
looking
is
forward
great.
to
I
Peggy,
mean,
but,
it's nice to have this every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we'll have her back if she wants to.
Yeah.
Definitely wants to come back. We'll
Yes.
have her back in the
Yeah.
next month or
sure.
so. All right, I don't even have any music to play us out for a break, but.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
I've been jamming to something today. I don't know why. It's been like it's been.
Me and Sarah listened to it on the way here.
I don't know. I saw it. I saw it in a movie Friday, but I've been listening to it before that. I saw it in several places. And
I love
just
it.
Like, yeah.
All right, so let's have. We'll be right back after